This is a Missouri River flooding update by Council Bluffs and Pottawatomie County officials. In these briefings, officials will inform you about projects and developments in regards to the Missouri River, other creeks and rivers in the county, and rain.
Good morning. It's August 1st, 2011. I'm Matt Wilbur, acting as the Public Information Officer for Pottawatomie County. For an update this morning, river level this morning was at 35.02. It actually dipped briefly below 35 last night, but we are on a downward track. We're going to be at 34.2, looks like, by this weekend. Actually, 2 days ago, the Gavin's Point releases were stepped down from 160,000 cubic feet per second to 155. Today, they stepped down to 150. They're going to stay there for a couple of weeks. Then there's going to be a staged reduction really over about the next month period of time. That said, at this point, with current tributary flows taken into account, assuming that they stay fairly constant and assuming that the Army Corps of Engineers is able to go through with the stepped reduction that they plan, we see no reason why they won't. It's looking like we will probably reach the 31-foot level around, it looks like we'll reach the 31-foot level around August 27th or 28th. That ought to take the water mostly off of the toe of the levees in Council Bluffs. There might be some lower lying areas that it's not quite off the toe, but really that's kind of where we're looking at right now, is another 4 weeks of water kind of up against the levees. Again, with their staged reductions in place, it's looking like we should be at maybe below flood stage around September 20th or 21st, which is at 29 feet. Again, these are estimates, could be a little bit sooner, could be a little bit later, but I think that's some fairly good news. At least we have an end date in sight. Going to be a very hot day again today, with heat indexes up to 111. So we just ask everyone again to be vigilant if you're going to be outside, if you're going to be doing any any work outside. Make sure you're plenty hydrated. Finally, again, it was a pretty slow weekend. We do have 3 in shelter overnight. I don't know if we said this at the last update or not, but the shelter has moved from the lead center at ISD. They're getting ready to prepare for school to start, and so it has been moved to the First Congregational United Church of Christ, which is at 611 First Avenue. And that's where the shelter will be for the duration of this event. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Don Gross with the City of Council Bluffs. Although Matt gave some encouraging news, the City of Council Bluffs will remain at level 1. We have no major flood incidences that were reported this weekend, July 30th and 31st. A couple other notices I'd like to make. Effective today, the city is going to suspend sandbagging efforts at the Mid-America Center. The city's objective was to maintain right now 50 to 100,000 bags in inventory. I believe we have around 90,000 bags in inventory. Therefore, we are suspending operations. I'd also like to point out that since the beginning of operations, we've had about approximately short of 13,000 volunteer hours been logged. We're very grateful for all those that volunteered. As far as current projects and issues that we're working on today, work is continuing on the installation of a 4,000-foot HESCO barrier around the wastewater treatment plant. There was a sand blanket installed last week. These are preventative measures. The city is concerned of maintaining the wastewater treatment plant in the event of levee breaches to the south. And just kind of a point of information, we have in the past said that the city went out and hardened, sandbagged a variety of facilities. I want to say 14 or 15 facilities across the community. These were pump stations, fire stations, other city buildings. That effort, we used 100,000 sandbags. The city also has installed another sand blanket about 50 by 150 feet along the Missouri River levee immediately south of the I-80, I-29 interchange. Last Thursday, staff had identified some sand boils in that area that were of significant concern. And we also noticed a significant amount of water seepage in that area that they wanted to address. So the seepage blanket was installed. We also requested that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers assist us in installing a setback levee in this general location. That has also been done and is now completed. That concludes my report.